Hello, everybody. I'm so excited that we're having our awesome team meeting here today. I absolutely love doing our team meeting every month online like this. It works out so great and it's so fun, and we get to interact and hang out. So I think I finally have figured out the perfect lighting solution for using my webcam. So I'm hoping that it works good for us today. And we're going to focus on making two different cards, but they're using a bunch of the same supplies. I'm specifically gearing this video towards people who are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators because this is my team meeting. And, uh-oh, big feedback. Okay. And, ooh. Not sure what to do about that. It could be on your end. Let's see. Let me see here. Do you still have a lot of feedback, Catherine? Okay. Yep, that'll cause that when you have it on in two places. Okay. Hi, Carrie Joy. I'm so glad you guys are joining us. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about what we're doing today. So I get lots of questions from team members about how to do a workshop, how to do a class, what if you don't have a lot of supplies, things like that. And so we're going to kind of talk about that today, and I'm going to show you two projects using pretty much all the same supplies, but two very different cards. And so we're going to do those as well. So the products that we're using today are the Falling Flowers stamp set and the matching framelits. I'm not actually going to use the framelits because I've pre-cut everything just to save time. Sunshine Saying stamp set and Banners for You. Now on these two stamp sets, I'm simply just using the sentiments. You could use any sentiments that work for you. You wouldn't have to use these. Okay, but the focal stamp set that I'm using is the Falling Flowers. And all I did is I went into the catalog, I looked where the Falling Flowers stamp set was, and I cased two projects straight out of the catalog. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's great, but why would you do that? I really wanted to show you guys how simple it is to create cards and create them for a class or a workshop environment. So the first card we're going to do is this one. It is super fun, very summery, springy, and you could use this for any time in the summer or spring. And it's a thank you card, obviously, and it's just beautiful. I love the way it looks. It's kind of got a clean and simple vibe, but it uses lots of different colors, and it's really pretty. So the four colors we're using today, and both cards only use these four colors, are Flirty Flamingo, Crushed Curry, Pear Pizzazz, and Pool Party. So I'm only using four ink colors to make these cards. This is a great color combination, by the way. If you're looking to make some summery or springy cards, this is a fantastic color combination. Okay. So we're going to get started, and we're going to make the first card, and I've got all my supplies here, and I've already pre-cut everything and pretty much done everything ahead of time because I really wanted to focus on why we're doing cards like this and talk about it rather than sitting and die cutting a whole bunch of stuff while we were on camera. So I have my Pool Party sponge here. You can buy the Stampin' Up! Sponges that are the big round sponges and cut them into 4 pieces. And then add your paper to the top and staple it, and you have a little sponge. So we're going to use Pool Party ink. If you guys have any questions or comments, just chat in. And this is the Irresistible Floral Designer Series paper from the annual catalog. So it is automatic emboss resisting, which I love. So you already have these really pretty embossed designs, and all you have to do is run your sponge and ink over the top, and you get this great emboss resist. Okay, and we're doing this with both cards today. Let me grab my snail adhesive. Hi, Lori. Hi, Roberta. Hi, Tommy girl. Hi, Shannon. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Debbie. I'm so glad you're all joining us today. Okay, so I'm going to put this kitty corner by lining up this corner and this corner. And obviously we have this overhang, right? So we're going to get rid of that by opening the card up. And I'm just going to take my paper snips and run them right along the edge of the card to trim this off. This just saves you a lot of time rather than trying to figure out how to pre-cut this on a diagonal. So there we have the base. Okay. Then we're going to lay down our leaves and our flower. And to do that, I'm going to use a pair of tweezers and my fine tip glue pen, which I did not bring in here. So I'm going to go grab it. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I am pretty bad about forgetting to bring my glue pen into my taping area. So, all right. So I highly recommend that you use tweezers when you have intricate dies like this. These tweezers are from Cricut, Provo Craft. I've had them for a million years, it feels like. And so I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want my flower to go, which is right in this area. And then I can kind of eyeball where I want my leaves to go, put them like this. And so the first thing I'm going to lay down is the leaves. So I'll leave them there, pick one up at a time. And I'm just going to use the fine tip glue pen to go around and add glue and lay it back down. Hey Janet, thanks for joining us. Okay, same with this guy. What's everybody up to today? I would love to hear what you guys are all up to today, besides hanging out with me on YouTube now. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add this flower. And as you can see, this flower has a lot of little intricate lines to add glue to. So what I do is I try to go around the edge, the outside edge, and add glue there, because that to me is the most important area. And then just a little bit into the center, rather than going every single place. And then we're going to lay this one down. And sometimes you need like a clear block or something to push down on these intricate dies, because they tend to sometimes want to come back up on you. So just, you can do that, or you could like take a ink pad and lay it down and let the glue kind of set up and adhere. Putting in a new ceiling in my kitchen, no room to stamp due to everything from the kitchen on my table. Wow, that's crazy. Miss Amanda, watching you and running payroll. Nice. Cut a check for me. Carrie's waiting for her pre-order. That's exciting. Awesome, Tammy. Tammy just joined our team today, so that's pretty exciting. She's a brand new demonstrator, so we're super excited to have her on our team. Okay, so now that that's set for a minute, I'm comfortable with it. I've already got these little bitty guys here that I've stamped and crushed curry and cut out on the Big Shot. And so I'm going to go ahead and add those. And I'm just kind of like eyeballing where I want them. I'm not, you know, gonna stress out too much here about where the placement of them, where they go. Let me grab my dimensionals. Where are my dimensionals? There they are. Sorry about the doggies barking. If you hear them in the background, I have the door shut, but sometimes that just doesn't matter. You can hear them anyway. That's Molly, Miss Molly. She loves to yap her mouth. They both do. They're both barkers. They're little yippy dogs. What can I say? Okay. Yes, Fran, this is exactly what you were just talking about. So it's awesome. Fran and I had a phone call this morning because I'm always happy to talk to any of my demonstrators that are having struggles and need help with something. And this morning, Fran and I had a phone call and we were talking about, this is just crushed curry ribbon, or twine, and I'm going to make a bow out of it. So Fran and I were talking about how hard it is when you first start to come up with ideas for classes or workshops, stuff like that, and especially when you have limited supplies. So that's part of the reason I had planned to do this video, was because that's a very real struggle for a lot of demonstrators when they're first starting out and they haven't purchased everything. So I recommend always, okay, I'm just using a little glue here to put this bow down. Probably gonna have to yell at my dog here in a minute if she doesn't shut up. Molly, stop. So these are the little white accents, perfect white accents. I just thought that they looked really cute on here. So I'm gonna add a few of these. She just can't help herself. Cannot help herself. Okay, and then I have this strip of Whisper White cardstock here, and I'm just going to use my thanks sentiment that is from the Sunshine Saying stamp set, and I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo ink. And I'm going to stamp thanks over and over, spacing it out just a little bit. And then I'm just going to kind of measure. And this is how I did the other one. I didn't really measure it out. I just kind of eyeballed what I thought would work. And that looks like it's going to work. So I take one end and I'm cutting straight down the center and then angling at each side, and that creates a perfect little fishtail. And we're going to go ahead and use snail adhesive along the back here. Rub it off of my tabletop. All right, and then we're going to add it underneath the bow, if I can manage that. Right down on top. And then trim off the edge. So this would be a fantastic card to do in a class or a workshop. You would pre-cut everything and pre-cut all the dies and everything for them. Don't pre-stamp anything. You wouldn't pre-stamp these guys. You'd let them stamp that and use the Big Shot because that gives them the feel of the Big Shot. I would probably do that in a class. Maybe in a workshop, I would just leave these off because you want to make this project really simple and quick. If you were teaching a class, you could do these pieces. And then just have this little strip here pre-cut and let them do the stamping and then assemble it. And it's really super simple and quick and easy and fun. And it's beautiful. The colors are just gorgeous. Okay, if you need to see a list of these supplies, you can check it out over on my blog at loveandstampin.com. And if you're not a demonstrator and you want to become a demonstrator, you can join our team on my blog, or you can purchase these products. If you need to purchase them, you can order them on from my blog as well. Okay, so that's card number 1. So here's card number 2. Ooh, isn't it adorable? I love it. This also is from the catalog. I just literally went into the catalog and cased 2 cards because I think people really get stuck on what they're going to create, and that stresses them out, and then they end up not doing anything. And it really is as simple as going into the catalog, finding an awesome project that you want to duplicate, and just duplicating it. And I try to stick with stuff that's kind of easy and not too complicated. This card's a little bit more complicated, and it's going to require a lot more stamping and then die cutting. So this might not be one I would do in a workshop. I might save this one for a class environment. Or you could pre-die cut everything and then let them do the stamping. The only tough part with that is this stamp set is red rubber. It's not photopolymer. So they're not going to be able to see through to do the stamping. So it's probably one that you would want to do in a class environment where everybody's has kind of a concept of how to stamp and what to do. In a workshop environment, you never know who's going to be there and what their skill set will be. So if their skill set is one where they've never stamped before, this could be a little bit overwhelming and difficult to them. And you don't want to do anything that's going to discourage somebody from making a card, right? So in this card, we're going to use all the same colors. We're using these really pretty in color enamel dots, or enamel shapes, I should say, because there's more than one shape. And these are all the supplies. We're again using that same irresistible floral paper that's really pretty. I've already pre-cut everything, so we're good to go there. Is it easier to use the clear block or the stamping tool that holds the stamp over your card? I'm assuming you're referring to a MISTI. I have a MISTI tool and I use both, and it depends on what I'm using or what I'm doing. So that's the best description I can give. I mean, it's way easier to use a clear block, in my opinion, if I'm just stamping something quick and easy. But if I need to do something where I need to stamp something multiple times in the exact same spot, then I get my MISTI out. Okay, so I've just taken crushed curry ink on my sponge and inked up the center area of this irresistible paper. And I'm going to put this down using dimensionals. Hi, Peggy. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today. I'm so excited that you're here. All right, so I'm using some dimensionals in the center because I don't want this panel that I'm adhering to my card to sag in the center. So I went ahead and put one on each corner and then a couple in the center. Sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll cover my whole entire panel with like a dimensional tape, but this works just as well, especially on a card that's not been heavily inked or saturated. Okay, so there's that piece. And then the rest is just super simple layering. I've obviously stamped and die cut these out already. I sat the other evening and cut several. I hate this when it clogs up. This clogs on me more often than a normal one would because I did add Tombow glue into here. So every once in a while we get a clog. Okay, so there's that piece. And I'm just going to layer it down here where it's coming off the edge. And then I'm going to put this one on and I'm going to have it going in the opposite direction, meaning it'll flip up like this. And I'm just going to kind of have it meet in the middle. And it also will kind of go off the top edge here. And then this is where I'm going to kind of do a little finagling here to see my layout before I add stuff. So I have my pink flower there. This one will go here. There's one, and then we'll put one here. So that should be okay. So I'll just add a dot of glue and put this one down. Add a little more glue and stick this one down. Right kind of in the same area there. And same with this one. You could use any type of adhesive you wanted to. to adhere these. Snail adhesive, fast fuse, glue dots, whatever made you happy. I just happen to have the glue out, so it makes it easy to just keep using it. Okay, on this blue flower, I want to pop it up using dimensionals. So I'm going to use 3 to make sure that we're getting some good height on this flower. And then I'm going to center it and put it down. And isn't that pretty? You could almost just leave it like this and you could have a beautiful card. But then you go and you add these little guys and it's just like super, super cute. So these are the little enamel. Actually, you know, I'm going to wait to add these. Let me take that one off. I want to add my sentiment first. Okay, so this is cut from the Sweet Cupcake framelit set. However, if you wanted to make one of these, you could make it without having to have that framelit set by just cutting a strip of paper, fishtailing it at each end. The cool thing about these framelits is there's these little bitty score lines right here. I don't know if you can even see them, but they're there. And if you fold them correctly, then they do this kind of cool thing where it pops up this sentiment. So I'm just doing that. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my image into the center. And again, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo ink. And go straight down and straight up. And I have my little happy birthday sentiment. And then I'm going to use adhesive on the tail pieces here. This is a little tricky. Get your hands in here. And then on the back piece, I'm going to put 1 dimensional so that it kind of pushes itself up, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but okay. And then you just adhere it all down. Okay, now I can add my enamel pieces. And I'm going to add 1 here and a big one here. And then I'll do 1 over here. And these are Flirty Flamingo. Those are the ink colors. Okay, so there's my card. How cute and simple is that? Okay, how do I clean my stamps? I clean my stamps using the Stampin' Scrub that's in the Stampin' UP catalog and the Stampin' Mist stamp cleaner. Those are both items that can be found in the Stampin' UP catalog, annual Stampin' UP catalog. Do I like the new sponge brayer or sponge wedge? I like the sponge brayer a lot. I've used it. I didn't think that I would like it because it seemed a little bit like cheesy to me. I don't know how else to explain it. But I used it and I actually ended up loving it. There's a card on my channel where I've used that and I show you how to use it. So I really do like it. It just is easier for me to just grab these and use these. I've had them for so long. You can see they're pretty tattered. So I just have a box full of these little wedge sponges that I have. And so it's just easy to grab them and use them. Oh, I did bring my Wink of Stella pen in with me today because I thought it would be fun to add a little Wink of Stella to some of these. So that is another easy upsell item if you're, you know, stamping somewhere and stamping in a event or something, and you're wanting to kind of upsell or add a product to somebody's order. This is a great thing to have added into your crafting collection. I really love the Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see how shiny those are. You really can't, but it really puts a pretty shine on the card. So yeah, so those are our 2 cards, and I used very few supplies. And you could probably even get away with using less supplies. You wouldn't even have to use the sentiments if you didn't want to. The card is just as beautiful without the sentiment. So you could get away with that if you wanted. Yes, the inks I used were Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, Crushed Curry, and Pear Pizzazz. Thank you for that, Roberta. And the 4 colors make a beautiful color combination. So let me see if I can get this in here. And if you didn't have Pear Pizzazz, you could substitute it out for Wild Wasabi, or even Old Olive. If you didn't have Crushed Curry, you could substitute that out for So Saffron or Daffodil Delight. Really, any of the yellows would work great. In fact, the card base here is So Saffron. The ink that I used was Crushed Curry, but you could switch either of those out so that they're the same or whatever worked for you. So I just really love these cards. When I was flipping through the catalog, I saw them and I just loved them. So I have 2 giveaways today for people that are on my team. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, which was just to choose some winners in my Facebook group. So I'll post the winners, and I'm giving away 2 packages of White Perfect Accents today. So I will choose those winners based on who was here live, because I can go back and look. And I will post the winners of each of these in the Facebook group tonight. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for me? Comments? Thoughts? Random musings? Whatever? Okay, so I really hope that you guys try these out. Like I said, they're super easy cards. You could pick anything you wanted from the catalog pretty much and recreate it in a workshop environment or a class environment. You can take away a few of the elements. You could add a few elements depending on if you wanted to dress it up or dress it down. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you was look at all these other pieces I have already cut and stamped in here. So I'm going to be able to go sit down and make more cards because I've already done this. So another tip for you is when you're stamping, you're already there stamping anyway, so you might as well stamp some extras to give yourself more stuff to play with. And then I just already have these handy now, so I can just go sit down quick and create a few cards and add them to my stash because I constantly need cards to give and send. So that's a little tip for you if you are creating cards and you need lots of cards. Just take the time to stamp a few extra items and cut a few extra items while you're already doing it, and that's it. Do you know ahead of time what stamp set or dies you will be showing? Ahead of time of what? A class or a workshop? Absolutely. I plan it all out. I mean, yes, I plan out what I'm going to use and why, and then I try to focus on using those items. You're welcome, Tammy. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you enjoyed our little get-together, and I will choose winners over on our Facebook page. And if you are watching this later and watching the recording, I hope that you can join us before these classes. No, I don't provide written instruction at my classes, Debbie. I used to do that. It's just not feasible anymore. It's too much. It's too labor intensive. So I don't provide written instruction. I keep things pretty much so simple that anybody could just copy what I'm doing by looking at the photo. Like I said, this one here probably is not one I would do in a workshop, but I might do it in a class. This one's very simple. It's just layering pieces. So tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Katina Martinez will be doing a Luvly Stampers event, and you can join in with her and watch what she has for you guys. I think it's probably different than what I'm doing. I know it is. And so you can watch and join in with her as well. Okay, I will let you guys go, and thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.